We got to talk about this Google AI issue.
Yes.
All right. So you may have heard by now, but basically there's a Chinese national who I believe is naturalized in America. He was working for Google, and I'll just read this tweet that I got from someone because it summed it up very well. It says, an ex-Google software engineer was charged with stealing AI trade secrets from the company and secretly working with 2 China-based AI startups. The leaker, Linwei Ding, now faces up to 10 years in prison. The story is intense. Number 1, Google found out that its confidential information was getting leaked. 2, on further investigation, Google found out Ding had been uploading hundreds of confidential files to his personal Google Cloud for over 2 years. 2 years he's been stealing stuff from Google.
2 years.
Yeah. Within weeks of the theft starting, prosecutors say Ding was offered CTO, that's Chief Technological Officer, right? Yeah. At an early stage AI startup in China. Okay, that's what they always do.
Yeah.
The Chinese government offers huge amounts of money and labs and stuff and like a research facility if you steal IP and bring it back. Okay, and then on top of that, Ding also founded his own China-based startup focused on training large AI models powered by supercomputing chips. This is the technology that he stole.
Yikes.
Was the hardware of how to use, self-training AI stuff. That's what he stole. So he started his own startup. Now, here's what really pisses me off even more. Another employee was scanning Ding's access badge at the Google building in the US to make it look like he was there when he was actually in China.
It's clever.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Not only is he stealing from Google, all this very important top secret AI technology, but he's also getting them to pay him a paycheck while he's in China.
That's true.
Pretending to be in the US. So he's stealing from the company. He's fraudulently gaining his, his wage or salary or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And screwing over the USA and all that all at the same time. It's really annoying. Anyway, the FBI seized Ding's electronic devices and uncovered more than 500 unique files of confidential information stolen from Google.
Wow.
So when you see China's new AI stuff, remember, it's all based on theft. Okay? China's AI is based on theft. It's
literally set up in the way they do things.
Yeah.
They tell people to go and do that and then reward them.
Mm-hmm.
You get 1,000 Talents programs, United Front, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's awful. It's petty, criminal, thief stuff. And that's what the CCP does, is they steal this information. They steal all the technology behind this AI stuff. And then they incentivize these guys by giving them huge amounts of money and grants and research labs and all that stuff. And then they get to steal their stuff. They get to have their cake and eat it because they can still get their salary from Google. They can still be a Google engineer. They can still live in the States. They can still have all this, but then they spend lots of time in China at their own startups and at these government startups developing and patenting the exact technology that they stole. And then they get to use it and then sell it back to people that undercut whoever actually invented it in the first place, because they don't have any R&D costs involved. It's a horrible situation. And I just wish people would wake the hell up, because how many times does this have to happen?
I feel like this is a common occurrence now, but maybe we're hearing more about it because people are taking it more seriously.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty easy. It's so blurry, the lines, because you don't want it to be some kind of a national discrimination thing. You don't want to say like, oh, you can't hire Chinese nationals. What you need to do, though, is make sure that everybody, doesn't matter where they come from, have the same rigid security settings. Like, you monitor every single piece of data that comes in and out of their workplace.
Yes.
It has to be.
Absolutely.
If they're making trips to China, you got to scrutinize that, especially see how long they're going and staying there. Like, there has to be some kind of new way to approach this, because we've seen military technology, AI technology, everybody's personal details being stolen.
How long until everything's gone?
Yeah, no, they steal everything. It's a bunch of petty little thieves.
Well, they're freaking getting incentivized by the government and being called patriots when they do it.
Yeah, exactly. It pisses me off a lot, especially like taking advantage of Google and still getting a salary while stealing from them. That just makes it even worse for me. I don't know why. China just pulled the country version of a company canceling its quarterly earnings call.
Yeah, this is just a teaser of next week's extravaganza.
Yeah.
So we won't get into too much depth, but This is a big problem, guys. Basically, China during the 2 sessions, these big plenary meetings or whatever, between the CCP and the CPPCC, which is the People's Consultative Conference. Can you play that?
Oh, I certainly can. You mean this?
CPPCC. CPPCC.
So basically, it's this horribly boring meeting where China decides on stuff, right? and it also puts it out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
Here's the issue. They always have a situation where journalists can ask questions and that they kind of give a report on what the projections are and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
This time, they are not going to do the press conference with the foreign minister.
Yeah, because this is normally what gives people an idea on the economy of China.
Yes, and
So-
that's like why you invest in stuff.
Yeah, they look at it and they say like, oh, this is what they're planning to do. This is what they've done, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, should I invest? Should I not?
Here's my theory, and I think it's a correct theory. So I think it's actually not even a theory.
Okay.
It's gotten so bad, and the economy has gotten so bad, that they've lied so many times that when they do these press conferences, it's not that somebody calls, like, is even able to ask a sensitive question.
Sure.
But when they hide things or lie about figures, then other analysts go and find out the real thing.
Yeah.
Or find another way to figure it out.
Yeah.
So if you don't have one at all, you don't even have a conversation.
You don't need to worry about being disproved, right?
Yes, yes.
That's also why they don't publish the unemployment numbers anymore.
Yes.
Right? Because now you don't have a figure to work off of, right? Last week we spoke about the Canadian scientist, virologist, whatever you wanted to call her, the thief who sent samples of deadly viruses from the Canadian lab.
Yeah.
Canada's most important bio lab with all the deadly diseases. She sent them to China. She sent them to the Wuhan lab of virology. And here she is. She's up there. Okay. Shangguo. And guess who else is in the picture? Down here. You see? Just down there. It's our good old friend. Peter Balsack, otherwise known as, Peter Daszak. It's all tied together. By now, I think we can probably say with quite a lot of certainty that the idea of this horrible COVID thing that ravaged the world leaking out of a Wuhan lab, specifically a Wuhan Institute of Virology lab, is very possible, if not probable, if not actually just true. You know? So, anyway, just saying. Imagine the amount of flies that end up in these freaking bowels of dumplings. It's gross.
Fly dumplings.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Taking on all the bees.
Why did he film himself?
I know.
Doesn't he sound like a little boy? Yeah.
Like a 4-year-old. Figured out why she was so popular in China. So actually,
Because of the pollution in the video. You see, I never get this far.
but you do in China. It's
Yeah.
cheesy. It's lame.
Yes, there we go. This is such a vibe from that time.
That is such a vibe.
Yeah, it is a
Like-
nice prop. He's got a guitar. He's not using it. And I can't hear a guitar.
There's no
Music.
guitar
Yeah.
in this.
Close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs.